right, it looks as if Football Club Barcelona are not going to meet deadlines. Deadlines of returning to the Spotify Camp Nou looks like it's far-fetched, and they are not going to meet those lines. And it has brought some level of pressure to Hansi Flick, Juan Laporta, and almost everybody at the helm at Football Club Barcelona. Also, on the parts of Football Club Real Madrid, they have done a few parts of their training section gone off today, and later they are going to return later on in terms of the training section that's going to go. But Enzo Maresca, in the lead up to that big game against West Ham United, has been speaking. He has been speaking about Wesley Fofana, speaking about Chelsea's possibility. But I heard something. It's as if Manchester United, were sort of delusional in terms of dealing with Chelsea on a particular player. I'll tell you about that over here. We'll do the preview of Chelsea versus West Ham United here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing us. In terms of the football analysis, this is your best place, and you know it. Back to back, we give you all the consistent analysis here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Turn on notification and the notification turn and do choose on, just so anytime that there is content here, you are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. That's the most important thing. You are updated, you get the best in terms of analysis. Like you guys say, it is your best place for you to get analysis. So let's get straight into it. But first of all, let's say a very, very, very big thank you to my man at Yumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Charlie, I've said it several times. If you want spare parts, if you want dealers, if you want anything that you can buy and sell, this is in terms of cars, the bonnets, the fenders, the rims, the tires, the cameras, the seat covers, everything about car and the spare parts, dashboard, everything. Charlie, the only guy for you, this whole Ghana, we're going to do that job correct, give you in the Yumo. Ide Aboso kind, a post office, that be where Yumo spare part dealership. You reach Aboso kind of just ask of Yumo spare part dealership shop. They'll show you just by the post office. You go, he'll do a clean job for you. He has workers who will take their time, listen to your problem, solve it for you, and provide the best solutions for you at Yumo spare part dealership shop. Of course, if you are not in a car and there isn't any problem at all whatsoever, the only thing that you have to do is that you just have to make sure that you give him a call. Just give him a call. He does what he calls the nationwide delivery. The nationwide delivery. That's exactly what Yumo does for you. So just give Yumo a call right now. Let him come back to you. Call him on 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. Of course, when it comes to apparel, saying clothes, shorts, slippers, belt, tops, Lacoste, trouser, bro. See, if you look any further than MOB clothing, then you do your body. Me, I tell you, if you only MOB clothing, we go feel sort you clean. Shout out where you go feel clean, solid. If you MOB clothing, if we go feel do the job, give you a beg. See if you don't want anything you go wear, you go date, you travel, you go job, office, shadow and sons. If you MOB, the only thing you go do be say, just make sure say you go right now. As I talk to you, if you to do, you go a flower station for to do. You go just tell them say they search MOB clothing. It be Madam Millicent in initials. You be Madam Millicent in initials. When they send Benewa, you go. Let's tell Mommy Millicent say, Mommy, it be Gerard way. He talk to Fifi say, make link me to some of the best clothing plug. And the yes, it be you. Retail wholesale, it be MOB clothing. Retail wholesale, MOB clothing. The whole Ghana. Nobody does it better than MOB clothing. Solid customer care. So you just for call them if you know they are cry. It's simple. This one Ghana, nationwide delivery. Sort them back that he sent for you. Quickly, just call MOB Clothing on 0200-6687-08, 0200-6687-08 or 0247277140, 0247277140. Let him get the job done for you at MOB Clothing. It's the best place for you to go and then sort yourself out over there when it comes to MOB Clothing. What do we start for Madrid today? The pictures for their Champions League did come out. Of course, almost everybody was in that picture. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mastantuano, Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe. Everybody was in there. Of course, next week from now, there's going to be the Champions League phase draw. League phase draw is going to come up next week by this time. So everybody's gearing themselves up for an exciting weekend where we'll have Champions League conversation to have. After that, there's going to be the break for the first international break where players will go to their nations and going to have some enjoyment and play some World Cup qualifiers and then continental competition. So that is exactly what's going to go on in terms of all of these conversations of the clubs. And Madrid are bringing out their Champions League pictures, the photo shoot that they've done for the Champions League, and everybody was there. Today, there is no training for Football Club Real Madrid. Madrid fans, Madrid players are not training today. Everybody has been given a day off to go in there and go and rest. And then, of course, they return tomorrow. So today, it's the day of rest, and tomorrow they return at 10:30 a.m. in the morning, sharp at the Madrid City to go in there and go and get the job done for themselves. Madrid have said several times that this season they want to make sure that they compete. This morning, I said in my analysis that when I rewatch Madrid's game against Osasuna, I am confident that they'll have a very good season. I'm very, very certain that Madrid are going to have a very, very good season. They didn't have it last season, but it's a new coach, and this new coach looks like he knows exactly what he's doing in that regard. So you have to give him all the credit. You have to give Xabi Alonso all the credits that he has to get a job done. And he looks like he's going to get a job done at Football Club Real Madrid. So we are definitely going to see what's going to go on there. Barca look like they are not going to meet deadlines. Charlie, I've said it several times. See, as part of Barca's smart financial positioning and then solving of all of their financial problems, one of the best ways that we've gone about things is one, player sales, two, contract extensions, three, players that have gone off in terms of taking their wages off the books and then giving them that space to be able to operate financially. One other key important thing is whether they will be able to play at the Estadio de Camp Nou this season or they won't be able to play. In fact, there have been a lot of times, I remember beginning of the season, I came here and I mentioned that Barca are hoping that they'll be able to play this season at the Estadio de Camp Nou by September 19 thereabouts. As it stands now, what we've heard is that when the news did come, Barca don't look like they will be able to go and play at the Estadio de Camp Nou. It doesn't look likely that Barcelona are going to play at the Estadio de Camp Nou until January. So they said that instead of playing at the Estadio de Camp Nou with an empty stadium, they'll rather go and play at a lot of other stadiums like the Girona Stadium and the Montjuic possibly, instead of playing at the Estadio de Camp Nou with no fans. They will take their time until January, then they will return to the Camp Nou in proper fashion. But in one way that has gone on right for Football Club Barcelona in terms of contract renewal has been that one of Jules Koundé. Charlie, I mean, Jules Koundé has been brilliant player by our standard. If you look at when Barca bought him from Sevilla, all the controversy around him, how Chelsea wanted to get Jules Koundé, and then Barca were quick into the market to get Jules Koundé. How much he has given to Football Club Barcelona, even as a French boy, he seems to have immersed into the culture of the Catalan people, and he seems to get it right in getting the job done. Barca have realized that it is a big opportunity for them to make sure that they put themselves even in further solid financial standing by extending the contract of Jules Koundé, and that's exactly what they've done. Barca see that Jules Koundé is family, and that's exactly what they've done. They've extended that contract until 2030. Jules Koundé, after the contract extension, says that it's not dangerous for people to expect us to win the Champions League. If they believe us, then it means that they think that we have the quality to do it. That's exactly what he said. The contract extension is to 2030 for Abranti Fred and Jules Koundé. Of course, salary wages were not disclosed for Jules Koundé's contract extension, but then everything is clear that they believe that Jules Koundé is going to be a part of the bigger job of Football Club Barcelona, and they think that Jules Koundé can really go on and then be such a good player in that regard. So we are waiting to see how Jules Koundé is going to influence Barca even more when it comes to this season and the kind of football that Jules Koundé will be able to give to them. We'll see exactly how things are going to go on for them. But see, this is what I was explaining. In terms of the financial situation of Football Club Barcelona, Barca bought Jules Koundé 5 years ago from Sevilla. They bought him for 50 million. What it means is that for every year, Barca were going to amortize 10 million of that. They're going to amortize it over 5 years. So it means that each year on the books, Barca were paying 10 million. Now, Jules Koundé has been there for 3 years. It means that he's left with 2 more years on his contract. We are in 2025. Barca have added more years onto his contract. They've added more years onto his contract. And what Barca are trying to do is to make sure that Jules Koundé, for one, as a person, will be able to make sure they reduce the amortization on the books for him. They want to make sure that today, when they have to go into Jules Koundé and then go and talk about amortization. The money is not that huge, 10 million that they want to pay on the books. On the books, they're looking at paying somewhere around 4 million for Jules Kounde, something that Barca believe that it's a good market value for him. It reduces pressure on them, just so they don't have to pay so much yearly. So he reduces how much Barca would have to pay for a player of the quality of Jules Kounde as it stands now. So it's important over there. Like I said, in 2022, that's when they bought Jules Kounde over there. So it's been 3 years now. They pay 10 million each year for the last 3 years, and it means that now with the extension of the contract for another 3 years, from now to 2030, for another 5 more years now. It means that it's going to extend for 3 years, but plus the 2 that was there, making it 5 years. It means that now you are going to find the 20 that was left by 5, and then Barca are going to pay, instead of the 4 million, they are going to pay, instead of the 10 million, they are going to pay just 4 million to football club on paper for Jules Kounde's amortization. And that is smart business in terms of reducing the stress on football club Barcelona and putting them in a very, very good direction. Of course, Barca also, right after the extension of the contract of Jules Kounde, the next person is Frankie de Jong. And I was speaking about Frankie de Jong this morning that, see, when you talk about quality of play, when you talk about the kind of quality, the players that in the middle of the park are essentially one of the best that you can get on the ball, off the ball, every other aspect of play, it is Frankie de Jong that gives you that. He gives you that, ball controlling ability. He gives you that tempo controlling. He gives you that intensity check. And then managing the game in itself, the recycling of play, he does it. And also give you the line breaking ability of a top midfielder in the modern game. And Barca are saying that they are going to get a job. And I was asking a question this morning that, do you think that Barca would have to sell either Marc Barnal or Marc Casado? Now that they're extending the contract of Frankie de Jong, or they didn't need to do that. And I've had people tell me that for Barca to really attain complete financial freedom, they need to let some of the assets go. And the assets of some of these players like Barnal, like Casado, so let them go so that they can generate real money. What I'm hearing is that in the last few hours, FC Marseille in the French League, coached by Roberto Di Zerbi. You all know that Roberto Di Zerbi is a big fan of DLPs, the deep line playmakers, and that's the reason why today Roberto Di Zerbi has asked his entourage, Mehdi Benafia, to go to Barcelona and ask about a certain boy called Marc Casado, especially after the contract extension of Frankie de Jong. It's an interesting revelation and then interesting conversation that's going on over their football club Barcelona, because of course they want to make sure that they bring in the right players. They want to make sure that they don't just sell anybody at all, but they sell the right people and then bring in the best players to come and help them meet their targets over there for themselves. So we'll see how things are going to pan out from there in terms of football club Barcelona and then the players that they are going to sell, or whether or not they are not going to sell their players in that regard. See, in the last few hours, I like the stance of Chelsea Football Club on everything that they are doing. The stance on player sales, the stance on player purchases, the stance on even the plan for the game against West Ham United. I absolutely love everything that Chelsea are doing in that regard. And first off, see, Borussia Dortmund had come to Chelsea to ask of a boy called Kani Chukwuemeka. And just when we do Chelsea, when we could be said about Kani Chukwuemeka, Chelsea told them, say, they would have to pay a fee within 25 to 30 million, 35 million for Kani Chukwuemeka because he's a talented player. He had gone on loan last year to them. They know what Kani Chukwuemeka can do. In fact, Niko Kovac had consistently told the Dortmund, sporting directors that they need to bring him Kani Chukwuemeka into his team because he believes that Kani Chukwuemeka is a top talent. And once he enters the Dortmund team, he's going to be able to influence a lot of things for them. Fast. Now, Dortmund came back to Chelsea and they said that, they got him last season on loan, so they want him on loan again. Chelsea have been clear, and I've said it several times. If Chelsea are not firm and straightforward on all of the players that they are willing to sell this market, and they allow certain clubs to come and get them on loan without any obligation, even in the obligation, they are not supposed to be options for you to get out. It's supposed to be a strict obligation for you to buy, because you are only not buying right now because the player himself You think that you don't have money in there. So if you're going to get money next year, then that should be your priority, the first player that you buy. So that is something, because if Chelsea make a mistake and then they don't sell the players that they have to sell now, and then they end up giving them on loan every single summer, clubs will come to them looking for players on loan from them. And I like the fact that they were very strong and firm on the case of Renato Vega and then letting him go to Villarreal for good amounts of money. Now, the focus now has turned to Kane Chukwuemeka. Chelsea have a lot of these guys. I think about 10 of them that they have to make sure that they sell, and 2 of them that they want to bring in. And it starts with Kane Chukwuemeka. Dortmund had also expressed interest in Chelsea's young Argentine centre back called Aaron Anselmino. In fact, not for Boca Juniors, for Boca Juniors actually, in the Italian, in the German, in the Argentine league, he was one of the best young centre backs in the league. Solid ball playing, plays up from the back, very, very good in between the lines, good ball carrier. I mean, very, very good player for that in that regard. And now Chelsea have felt that in the first team, he's not going to get enough playing time. So what they have to do is that they have to take him on loan. And of course, Dortmund had contacted Chelsea that they wanted, but now Chelsea are telling Dortmund that for you to get Aaron Anselmino on a free loan, you have to buy Kane Chukwuemeka permanently. Buy Kane Chukwuemeka and then get Aaron Anselmino on a free loan. And Borussia Dortmund are now in advanced talks with Chelsea to sign Kane Chukwuemeka on a permanent deal. They also want Aaron Anselmino. So Chelsea again winning on the transfer market, being smart, being creative, and then finding solutions where things are difficult for them, making sure that at the end of the day, they get a job done in terms of finding the right solutions in getting the job done. Today, I was telling Richardo that, see, take away the injuries of Christopher Nkunku. I mean, of course, in life, you can't take away injuries, but hypothetical. Let's say Christopher Nkunku doesn't have the injuries that we know that he has had. As Luis Diaz returns in Europe, close to Christopher Nkunku, like what a player has done in Europe, I mean, mainstream in Europe, what Nkunku had done in the German Bundesliga, what he had even done at Chelsea, as Luis Diaz on that level of Christopher Nkunku, but for injuries. And I've been saying that if Bayern can buy 75 million for Luis Diaz, I'm not saying Bayern should buy Christopher Nkunku for 75 million. That's outrageous. I'm not saying that Bayern should even buy Christopher Nkunku for the 50 million that they wanted to take to Stuttgart for Nick Votamad. I'm not saying that. But if Bayern are a serious club and then you want a serious player, you want a player that can come in and, in the absence of Jamal Musiala, come in and help you in terms of the creative ability behind the strikers, then you need somebody of the caliber of Christopher Nkunku and somebody who had won the Bundesliga Player of the Year just a couple of years ago. Won Bundesliga, Golden Boots just a couple of years ago. Has proven in the league that he's a top customer. And once he gets in, he doesn't need adaptation. He doesn't need acclimatization. He just goes in and slots into the team and then delivers to you. You have sent his agent to come twice to Chelsea. Chelsea say there is no way they are going to let Christopher Nkunku go to you on loan. It's a permanent deal. If you cannot do a permanent deal, then we will let Nkunku be part of our team. And like I said several times, I think that Chelsea have already done the deal for Xavi Simons. I think that the only reason why the deal is probably not official and has not come out fully is because Chelsea want to make sure that they retain that strength on the bargaining table for Xavi Simons. Because, essentially, immediately you announce Xavi Simons, it means that your replacement is Christopher Nkunku. You're not going to get any good amount of money for him. So he's going to go for nothing. And now that's the thing. Now, Leipzig are willing to get in Christopher Nkunku. Leipzig could be willing to sign Christopher Nkunku permanently, according to Platigol, but provided Chelsea sign Simons around 60 million. So, Leipzig are saying that if you can sign Simons around 60 million, we'll take Abanti friend Christopher Nkunku around that amount of money, the 40 million that you are looking for your player. That will get him over the blow for Bayern Munich. Chisken Parker shows Christopher Nkunku updates over there. Of course, that is the thing. It has been a big blow for Bayern Munich. Big blow for them in terms of making sure that they go in there to make sure that they get the player that they want. But that has gone on to be a big win for Chelsea, big win in the right direction for Chelsea Football Club in terms of getting the player that they want. And that takes them a step closer to Xavi Simons, somebody who I've said several times that immediately he steps into the Chelsea team, improves the creativity of that team, improves that creativity by a fold, by a mile of that team, and it's very, very important over there. In the last few minutes, we've been hearing also from Germany that Bayern Munich's move to Christopher Nkunku is in jeopardy, and jeopardy is because all of a sudden over there it's going to fall through. Christopher Nkunku's Bayern is at risk of falling through because as it stands now, Bayern are seeing, Leipzig are saying that Chelsea will buy Xavi Simons for more, and of course they will take Christopher Nkunku. The transfer of Christopher Nkunku to Bayern Munich threatened to collapse. Nkunku's agent Pini Zahavi with Chelsea bosses today, and now there are a lot of issues over there for Christopher Nkunku, whether or not the deal is going to go through. That is a big win for Chelsea, big win for Chelsea over there. For themselves, it's a very, very good one for them in terms of getting Xavi Simons to come into the team. I've said it several times. He's an important player. Another story that I heard today. See, today, apparently, when Chelsea went to Manchester United and told them that, oh, Alejandro Garnacho has made it clear he wants to play for us. He said that you guys said that you don't want to use him this summer. So the only thing that he wants to play is Chelsea Football Club. So, see, let's just finalize the deal quickly and let the boy come, because we know that you don't have a place for him. You don't fancy him. Your coach has said clearly in the public that he doesn't want a certain Alejandro Garnacho. So if you don't want Alejandro Garnacho, then bring him to us. We'll transform the player. He will play for us, and probably he's going to be a world beater. Apparently in that meeting, Manchester United representatives had asked Chelsea about the boy called Andre Santos. I mean, Charlie, there's this song that goes like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Like, what the heck? Manchester United, bro. Andre Santos. How are you going to get Andre Santos from us? I mean, it's not possible to get Andre Santos from us. At the end of the day, we have done everything possible, everything in the right direction to make sure they secure this player. And I know that there are lots of clubs in Europe who are trying to convince Andre Santos that they want him. In fact, some of them I hear are offering him crazy salaries for him to take and then move to them. Chelsea have remained clear that they will not sell Andre Santos today. They will not sell Andre Santos tomorrow. There is no way Andre Santos leaves that club. It is firm. See, something has happened, and it happened in that press conference of Enzo Maresca. When it happened in that press conference of Enzo Maresca, I knew that the Chelsea sporting directors are on top of issues, and it's a team that is working together. See, so at the beginning where Enzo Maresca came out and he said that when Levi Cole got injured, Enzo Maresca came out and he said that he needs a centre back. And he has told the sporting director, the club knows his stance, he needs a centre back. For me, I said that, wow, that can be a little bit problematic, because the brief from the club side were telling their pro journalists that we believe that we have enough depth in the club, so we don't particularly need a centre back. But Enzo Maresca can find solutions from within. I remember later on when the thing was going on, I said that if Chelsea lose against Crystal Palace, it puts them in a situation where now it's going to be as if there's a little bit of a crack between Enzo Maresca and the sporting directors, and that really will not sit well with Maresca. Neither will it sit well with the sporting directors and the club. And you don't want to start your season like that. Now, I remember again, I'll come back and I said that, see, if you don't take care, I think that maybe because Maresca is not a native English speaker, we need to be careful. Maybe he actually did not mean exactly that, but he needs to be careful. He came back again and said that Charlie, he needs a centre back. Today in the pre-match press conference, journalists asked him again, and Maresca saying that, oh, I have told you guys before, I didn't automatically say that we by force have to go and buy a player, but we need to also try and find solutions from within. He goes again and say that we need to find solutions from within. And he tells them that maybe I need to do better with my English. Maresca said this. Maybe I need to do better with my English. That we need to make sure that we find a better centre back and better solution from our team as it stands now. So it is very, 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 very clear that it looks as if Enzo Maresca is looking for solutions, and the solution that he is looking for now, it has to be solutions from within. From within. The good news, however, is that Tosin Adara Biayo is now back. I mean, very, very good news for him, because again, you can't go into games like this without the dominance that you want to have there on the ball control, playing up from the back, the dictation of the game and stuff like that. You need it in players like Tosin Adrabiayo, and then they give you that. And the good news that Chelsea have gotten Tosin Adrabiayo back into the team for themselves today. Enzo Maresca spoke about him, said he's back. He said Wesley Fofana is back. He went on to say that most of the players are back. Levi Cole is not in, of course. He said Romeo Lavia is still not fully back. He said that Benoit Belachile is also not fully back. But then these players are all en route to being fully fit, and that gives Chelsea a very, very strong team to go into the subsequent games to go and perform it and play well for themselves. See, West Ham United is not going to be easy. Enzo, Graham Potter speaking about the quality of Enzo Maresca and his charges, speaking about how good of a team Chelsea has in their ranks, and he has said that is a good team. But I believe strongly that Graham Potter knows that for him to be able to beat Chelsea, like he said, he needs more than just the performance. He needs to be more aggressive. Very difficult game from the point of view of Chelsea Football Club, because you are coming from your first game where you lost, where you drew. So the confidence is not particularly too high. And also you've lost very important centre backs. Now, in the game against Sunderland, West Ham United played with a 3-back, Jean-Claude Todibo. They also played in the middle of the park with Rodriguez, had two midfielders. Lucas Paqueta played as a 10. Gerard Bowen and, of course, Fulkrug led the lines. Of course, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was a wing back in that team. So they have the quality in that 3-back system. Again, the last time out at Stamford Bridge, Graham Potter did exactly that. 3-back, compacted the pitch, made it difficult for Chelsea to break them down. And that's exactly what I think that he's going to do, God willing, tomorrow in the evening, away at the London Olympic Stadium, to make things very, very difficult for Chelsea to break down West Ham United. Because, I mean, Graham Potter wants points. Mind you, he lost against West Ham United. So this is a game where it's going to be very important. It's a game where Tosin Adrabiayo's return is going to be important in terms of the recycling of play, the ball progression in itself. I think that now that, Romeo Lavia is injured, it would have been easier for Chelsea to have Xavi Simons now. I mean that in Chelsea's starting lineup, it could have easily been Xavi Simons off the left-hand side, and then attacking fullback, it could have been Jarrell Hato or Mark Okera keeping the weight, and then you have Xavi Simons in the left half space. And then what happens is that you drop Enzo Fernandez as a DLP next to Moises Caicedo. And Fernandez's job is going to be to recycle play, to control the tempo of the